It's really bloody hard to admit to yourself that you are responsible for creating the results that you're getting right now in your business. Now, that might trigger you. It might feel a bit uncomfortable. I don't say it to make you feel uncomfortable. I say it because I think it's just really important that people get honest with themselves. You're the person driving the car. You're the person leading this vehicle that you call business. And if you're not getting the results that you want right now, it can only really be one thing: you. And I've come to realize, even as a mindset coach, even someone who works on my own emotion, I've studied psychology, human behavior, trained master NLP practitioner, trained as a coach, done everything you could possibly imagine to do with understanding human psychology, human behavior, and my own stuff, and spent over 100,000 in programs and training on how to deal with my own crap so that I can help more people. I still have these challenges. Why? Because my ego doesn't want to look at that stuff. It doesn't want to admit to myself that I too have stuff that is unresolved, and I'll continue to have that stuff for the rest of my life. So every quarter, normally I sit down and I ask myself, what's in the way? What's in the gap? And every time I go to do it, because I'm either unclear on it or I just get emotional about it and feel this massive resistance within me, my mind wants to run away. My mind wants to avoid it because it's uncomfortable, and it's just as uncomfortable for me as it probably is for you as well. So how do you help yourself to overcome your own blocks? Well, this is probably the most important bit of advice I can give you. I want you to think about mental health campaigns. Now, I'm not saying you are mental. I just want you to think about mental health campaigns that you see on the TV or hear on the radio, or whatever you experience them. What's the core behavior they ask you to do to help you with your mental health? It's talk about it. Now, why are they asking you to talk about it? Well, think about all of your dirty little secrets. And I'm sure you might have one or two in the closet. These are the things that you might feel bad about. These are the things that you might feel insecure about. So, for example, when I was a kid, I used to feel really insecure that I had big ears, I had small nipples, and a sticky out chest. Those were just some of the ridiculous things that I was insecure about as a kid. Now, naturally, I wanted to hide that stuff. I didn't want to draw attention to it. I didn't want to feel vulnerable or exposed in some way, because that was what ultimately led to me being bullied a lot as a kid. And so if we have stuff that we feel insecure about, whether that be in business, that you do not have all of your shit figured out in business, and as a coach or as someone who's a professional, you should have all your shit figured out. Believe it or not, what you see on social media is not true. It's not real. If you go out on a date, you don't tell people about all the shitty relationships you've been on in the past and have a good old moan about your past partners or how crap you are at doing you in your life. No, you can always lead with your best foot, and that's what social media is. So despite what you see on social media, most business owners, and I've worked with a couple of thousand now, all the way from startup to multiple 8 figures in my one-to-one clients, they are frustrated with something. They are probably at not the level of income or moving as fast as they like, or at the level of growth that they really want right now. They're probably comparing themselves to other people and feeling even more frustrated because they're like, how are they getting results and I'm not? Like, surely I'm doing what they're doing. I'm reading the books. I'm doing all of the thing. They have some level of stress in their life, and that's often around cash flow, money, or they have too much on their plate. They often don't know what they should prioritize right now in order to move forward and get results, which is ultimately leading them to feeling overwhelmed. They might be feeling imposter syndrome and having a level of doubt in what they're doing right now, which constantly leads to that feeling that they're going to be found out as some kind of fraud. And the important thing to remember is if I go up to a business owner and I ask them, hey, how's business? You know the answer that's going to come out their mouth. It's, I'm fine. It's great. Business is good. Yeah. It's amazing. Despite what we know to be true It isn't great. There are problems. Businesses by nature have problems. There's always problems, and how we relate to that and feel about that is probably different to what we tell other people or what we show on social media. So here's what you need to do. Here's the first and most important step you need to take. If you have shame about being imperfect, not having it all figured out, you're overcommitted, there's too much going on, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're overwhelmed, you must find someone to share it with. This is really important. You must find someone to share it with, because when you find someone that you feel safe with, who aren't going to judge you for it, and you share that vulnerability, and that's not a nice word for some people, especially the men in the room might be challenged with that. Some women as well, of course. You share that vulnerability. It shows your imperfection. But more importantly, it helps you to release the shame that you feel around it. And you might not have made that link before. Because if you suppress the shame, you either express, which normally has consequences, but it's healthy, or you suppress. When you suppress, it takes energy to push that down. And when you suppress, that has to come out in the form of your behavior. Have you ever heard of people being passive aggressive before? Normally, they have a lot of resentment, a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger. So they are passive aggressive. That is it coming out in their behavior. And how shame normally comes out in people's behaviors. Think about this. If I have shame around my level of competency, I am doubting myself whether I can actually get people's results, I'm probably not going to prospect. I'm probably not going to get visible online. Probably not going to put myself out there, because actually, even though intellectually I'm saying I want to help people, I'm actually terrified that if I actually get the level of clients or the type of clients I really want to work with, that I might not be able to get them results. And that is shit scary for me. And I don't want to expose myself to being found out, because that makes me feel vulnerable. And I don't want to feel vulnerable because I don't want to feel that shame again. As an example, if you are worried about people will see that you are winging it in your business at times and you don't have all of your shit figured out, well, you're not going to want to hire a coach, because you're not going to want him to see behind the scenes of what's really going on in your business, because that's going to make you feel vulnerable and exposed. So the important thing that you must be able to do, if you're going to get really honest with yourself, the first step is really to find someone that you feel safe with and judge with, that you can share this stuff with, because shame can only exist in the darkness. As long as you suppress it, hide it, it's this dirty little secret that you continue to feel shame around. My personal recommendation, personally, I am a coach. I get coached, and I pay a lot of money to get coached by people through my own challenges, because I do get in my own way. 2 is hire a coach. Hire a coach. I don't care if it's me or someone else. Hire a coach, because they will be able to ask you a certain number of questions to help you, because this is what happens when you share it. When you share it, you let go of the emotion. When you're not in the emotion, you can think more logically and you can work through the block. When you have a coach, they can ask you a series of questions in a certain sequence to help you identify the block, what it is, and more importantly, to help you move through it. And as Ryan Holiday said in his book, the obstacle is the way. If you're feeling the resistance, see it as a signpost of where you really need to go, where you actually lean in. Because on the other side of that, I know it because I've experienced it and I feel it on a daily basis. On the other side of that is what I call true freedom. True freedom is not just financial freedom, it's mental freedom. Now, if you haven't signed up for the Mental Me Live event coming this Thursday, 18th of January, starting at 2 p.m. CST, that's 10 a.m. CST, that's 9 a.m. CST, 2 p.m. UK time. I have top coaches revealing their proven strategies for how to attract and convert your dream clients, and I'm going to be doing some hot seat coaching with live members in the audience in front of everybody on overcoming those challenges, overcoming those blocks, and working through anything that you're experiencing in your business right now that you need support with. So if you haven't reserved your spot, make sure you go and click the link. I'll put a link below this video, and I'll see you there. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.